everyone, welcome to today's tutorial, and in this video I will be covering the several paths that come within the line segment tool right here. So I'll be covering these 4 paths in this video, and in my previous video I had already covered the line segment tool. Right. So for this video I have chosen this A4 size document and given a name to my document called the Subtypes of Line tool. And of course you can choose any type of document size as you like. It's not necessary that you have to choose the A4 size, and you can give it any name as you like. So just in case if you guys are not able to see all these tools right here on your screen, make sure that the Essential Classics options has been switched on from this drop down box below. Alright, so the first type that I will be talking about is the arc tool. Now the arc tool is really simple. So if you just click and drag your mouse like that, you can make different types of arcs like that. So if I just click on the anchor point again and just drag my mouse without letting go of my mouse, I can make such different kinds of arcs to make different kinds of shapes like that. So if I zoom in, I can also join these arcs together. So if I click on these 2 arcs right here, go over here to the shaper tool and click on the join tool, and I'll just drag my mouse over to the corners like that. So I can do that by clicking the arcs and going back to the join tool and joining my shape like that. So this comes in handy especially if you are making a free-form abstract type of shape, right? And you can make any type of design you like that. So when you join it, it becomes super easy for you to then fill it in with any color you like that. And of course, if you want, you can let the stroke be there as you like, or maybe you just remove it like that. So like once your arc is made, something like this, you can go back to the direct selection tool and of course further manipulate it by clicking on the handle like that. Make it more curvier like that. Like this. Bring it upward, bring it downward. Like that. And there you go. I'll just shift this over here. Now coming back to my line segment tool, I'll now demonstrate how you can use the spiral tool. Now the spiral tool, So now the spiral tool right here, and this time I'll choose the stroke to be red because that was the last color we used, right? So if I just click and drag my mouse like that, you can see the spiral shape coming in like that. So you can decide how big or how small you want your spiral to be, like that. And there you go. So as you can see, the line of my spiral is pretty thin, right? So that's because the stroke of my spiral is 1, right? So that's by default. So if I click on my spiral again and go over to the stroke weight right here, I can increase this outline by choosing any of these numbers right here. So if I click on 4, you can see that the outline now becomes thicker, right? So if I click on my spiral again and go back to the direct selection tool again, I can further manipulate this, and by clicking on the anchor points right here and manipulate it however I want my spiral to be, right? like this, like that, this. Well, you get the idea now, don't you? So just play around with it however you want your spiral to be. Go crazy with it, experiment. And that's it. Now this was the spiral tool, right? And I'll decrease the size a little and bring it to the side again like that. Now these last two shapes, the rectangle grid tool and the polar grid tool, as the name suggests, these grid tools are kind of like a guide in case if you want to make a graphic, right? So the rectangle grid tool, what it does is that it will actually help you to make a particular type of table in your illustrations like that, right? So if I click on this and just zoom in, I can manipulate this even further by clicking on the shape builder tool like that. So as you can see, these shapes automatically get selected like that. I can remove certain boxes if I do not want. If I just click on Alt, the plus automatically becomes into a minus, and delete the squares that I do not require. Say like that. Like that. So of course you can also change the outline of your boxes like that. From red you can choose black, but for that did not happen because my shape wasn't selected at all, right? So if I go back, select my shapes, and from red I'll click to black, and that's it. So this is super helpful in case if you want to make a table on your illustrations. And similarly, what the polar grid does is that will help you make a circular grid for your illustrations like that, right? So this becomes super handy, especially like if you want to add circles around, right? So this has 5 spaces, right? So I click and drag like that, my circle like that. You can easily add the circles on equal spaces like that. Like that. And then of course you can delete the grid, and now you can see the circles now get placed into 5 equal parts like that. So this was the polar grid as well. So now let's quickly save our document. So to do that, we go to File and I'll click on Save As. So by default, my Adobe Illustrator will be saved as an AI file, right? So I highly recommend that we first save our file in this format, so that in case if I have to make any further changes, I can do that by accessing my AI file and then clicking on Save. And now in case if I want to save my document in a JPEG format, I can do that by going to File, Export, and clicking on Export As. So again, by default, my document will be saved as a JPEG format and clicking on Export. So now that we have come to the end of our now that we have come to the end of our video, I hope you found this video to be useful, and with a little practice you will soon become familiar with these tools right here, the subtypes of line tool, right? Thank you for watching and keep practicing.